Acquiring OG Anunoby has unlocked the New York Knicks as Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle are playing the best basketball of their lives post-trade, and also the New York Knicks have gone on an incredible run since acquiring OG, being 9-2 since the trade, and then obviously 8-1 without Jalen Brunson in the 2 games that he missed. And we're going to break this all down. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into the video, as we always do, because Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle have been unlocked since the Knicks acquired OG Anunoby, who also himself has had a nice start to his Knicks season. Now, a lot of people said that the trade was a steal for the Raptors once it was made. Sorry about that. But really, it just looks like that on the surface, I guess. I don't really see why people believe that so much. I mean, RJ and IQ have not always been the most consistently efficient players the way that Anunoby is. And essentially, what OG has been able to do for the Knicks has been huge. Obviously, these are his career stats, but if you look at the bottom, you'd see that he's averaging 15 points per game while shooting 40.8% from three and over 50% from the field. He's getting 1.2 steals per game. He's also getting an assist. He's getting 1.2 blocks per game. The man is a defensive menace. He has been so good for the Knicks. And really, the biggest thing that OG has done is just help the Knicks become a more fluid, efficient team, because RJ didn't fit with the Knicks. I had said that for a while. He just did not fit. There were too many lefties who wanted the ball in their hands and wanted to go downhill. They replaced that with OG, who requires way less of a usage rate, who can sort of actually play offense without the ball in his hands, and that gives a chance for Brunson and Randle to work with the ball in their hands. And both of them have succeeded wildly since then. As Ian Begley points out in his article, both players have been performing at a high level since the trade. Brunson's averaging 29 points and 8.4 assists in 9 games post-trade. The Knicks are outscoring opponents by an average of 18 points with Brunson on the court in that stretch. And Randle's averaging 25.6 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists per game since the trade. And New York is outscoring opponents by an average of 11.5 points per game when Randle is on the floor in that span. Now, something that Brunson said is that we're flowing out there. I think the chemistry is just unexplainable. We're able to flow and feed off each other, just making plays while still being aggressive. We've been in a groove, so we've got to keep doing that and keep doing what we've been doing. Keep giving each other confidence and keep moving forwards. The Knicks are 9-2 since the trade, as I mentioned, and 8-1 with Brunson on the court. And New York is plus 124 in the last 258 minutes that Brunson and Randle have shared the floor. There's sort of always been some questions of can Brunson and Randle work together, and there have been some Knicks fans who don't like Julius Randle, who claim that Brunson and Randle don't like each other. Obviously, that's BS. Brunson and Randle get along very well. We saw after the Raptors game, they had that moment together, which was very nice. They were messing around with each other. Look, clearly they're friends. They're playing at an elite rate. They really, right now, look like one of the best duos in the NBA, and nobody's talking about it. Both of them should be all-stars. Brunson should probably be an all-star starter. He's not going to be, but he should be. And the Knicks are a perfectly fluid team. Obviously, there's still the problem with the bench. The Knicks see Deuce McBride as more of a two-guard. If you look here, with the unlikelihood of a blockbuster trade materializing until the summer, the Knicks, according to teams negotiating with New York, are focused on acquiring a ball handler because McBride is viewed as more of an undersized two-guard, and a big man because of Mitchell Robinson's kind of ambiguous season future. There's also a willingness to take on multi-year deals to be packaged in a later blockbuster. And a source said the Mavericks have expressed interest in Grimes, along with the Atlanta Hawks, who have also possessed interest, and Grimes could be used for a DeJounte Murray trade. But as we know, the DeJounte Murray price seems to be pretty high, and the Mavericks have Tim Hardaway Jr. if the Knicks want to stick with McBride at the 1, but it seems like they're looking at him as more of a two-guard. But the Knicks are looking for more ball handling off the bench. But outside of that, this starting lineup has looked great. I don't see a reason to change the starting lineup as of right now. I think the Knicks should roll into the playoffs with this starting lineup of Brunson, DiVincenzo, Anunoby, Randle, and Hartenstein. It feels like that's working. It feels like they're just absolutely clicking. There's a reason why they're 9-2. And again, one of those losses is a without Jalen Brunson loss. And it was a close game against the Mavericks that Tom Thibodeau just coached horrifically. So that happens. Like, those are games that we're just going to drop. The Magic are good. It's not like they're a bad team. It was a close game. The Knicks blew a lead because they just could not. Tibbs just managed it poorly, and Randle got exhausted. It is what it is. They didn't have Brunson. If they had Brunson, they would have won the game. So it's not really something to be worried about. But the Knicks now are entering this perfect position of basketball where they just look like one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. It feels like they can contend with anyone. I mean, they have two All-Stars. Brunson is playing better than Steph Curry is this season. He's having an elite season. He's only averaging 0.5 points per game, less than Jason Tatum. His efficiency numbers are better than Jason Tatum's. Brunson is a 1A star. Whatever Becky Hammond wants to say, she is wrong. Brunson is playing like a 1A star. 100%, especially since the Anunoby trade. It's given him more spacing to work on the inside, while also he has one of the best three-point shooting seasons of his career. Well, the best three-point shooting season of his career, honestly. And now the Knicks are in position to roll into the playoffs, have a starting lineup that really works together, and if they can get one more bench piece, they're as dangerous as any team in the Eastern Conference other than a healthy Celtics. Like, sure, the Bucks are good, but they have their problems. They can't guard the perimeter at all. If the Knicks and the Bucks face off against each other, neither team plays that much defense on threes. It should be a firefight, and it'll be an interesting one to see. Obviously, right now, the Knicks are hovering around the middle of the Eastern Conference playoff picture, so they'd probably avoid the Bucks until the second or third round, and maybe see the Heat or the Cavs or the Pacers or the Magic in the first round. The East is a mess right now. It's pretty unclear who's going to finish where. But it feels like the Knicks, for one thing, are going to be in at least the top 5 of the Eastern Conference. They're playing like one of the best teams. And it's just been wild to see. I mean, if you look at them, with OG on the court, the Knicks have a 99.3 defensive rating. Without him, they have a 120.7 defensive rating. OG's getting 1.2 steals and 1.2 blocks per game. And is holding players to 27.8% on shots greater than 15 feet and 44.4% from the field overall. And as IQ for 3 did say, we're going OG Anunoby for first team all defense. I think when we got OG, we knew what he was great at. We knew he was one of the best defenders in the NBA. We knew he could shoot well. I didn't know he was this good at defense. Like, I'll be real. I had only seen OG play a handful of times up in Toronto. I wasn't making the most time to watch Raptors games when OG Anunoby was at his best because the Raptors had kind of fallen off. And there was really no reason for me to watch them. It's not like they were that interesting. It's not like they were that good. Now I'll watch them because RJ and IQ are there. But it is shocking to see how much better OG has made this basketball team. It's so clear that these Knicks are so good. They just did not fit together with RJ, with IQ. There were too many cooks in the kitchen. And now you get a guy who's really right now your third or fourth best player, depending on where you want to put Hartenstein. I would say OG's the third best player without Mitch there, potentially the third best player with Mitch there. And he just fits the team perfectly. He doesn't need the ball to be effective on offense. He's always effective on defense. He's the perfect player for this Knicks team. The Knicks don't need that many more guys to dominate the ball. They need guys to play their roles. Brunson is that guy. He's him. Julius Randle is excellent as a second option, especially when he has Brunson with him. Randle is so much better with Brunson than without him. I mean, we could see it from the 2021 to 22 season when Alec Burks was starting at point guard after the Knicks benched Kemba. Burks was not really a point guard, and thus Randle struggled a lot, and he had one of the worst seasons in his Knicks career, probably his second worst after his first season with the Knicks. Well, certainly his second worst after his first season with the Knicks. Brunson comes in, Randle becomes an all-star again. Brunson's here, obviously, again this year and for the foreseeable future. Randle's an all-star again. What we're looking at is Julius Randle becoming a second option, and it's working perfectly, and Jalen Brunson as the first option. And this especially works when you replace RJ with OG Anunoby, because one, OG is a little better than RJ, but also it's more just the fit than anything else. OG is not RJ. They're very different players, and both of them fit better on their current teams. And right now, we're looking at OG Anunoby unlocking the New York Knicks. If you look at the plus-minus numbers, Brunson's assist numbers are equally as impressive as anything else because he was averaging 6 assists before the trade and now is up to 8.4, which is the 7th highest in the NBA. Brunson's assist ratio has also jumped from 20 to 25 since the trade, and his assist percentage is up from 27 before the trade to 35.5 since, which would rank him 6th in the NBA. And it could be as simple as adding OG and subtracting Barrett, Bagley highlights, for the reason that his assists have jumped, because Barrett's usage was 26.6, which is nearly double OG's 14.7. And Barrett shot 42% from the field and 32 from three, while OG's shooting 51 and 40. OG's just a more efficient player than RJ. He just fits on the Knicks better, and it has unlocked this Knicks starting lineup, especially to where they are both an elite defense with Anunoby and an elite offense. This is how championship teams are made. It feels like the Knicks are one piece away, but for right now, just go get one more guy off the bench, go into the playoffs, and show the world how good you really are. Because right now, I don't think people realize how good the Knicks really are, and they're a team that's going to show that in the playoffs, because that's when Jalen Brunson's at his best, and OG Anunoby is going to make them work perfectly. And if Randle's healthy, I guarantee he is going to look like a different player than he's ever looked in the playoffs before. So like and subscribe to this video so you don't miss any New York Knicks content. Knicks Digest to the moon, baby. We're making a few videos a day. We're going to try to keep that rolling. Knicks play the Nets tonight. You know the Knicks are winning that game. Have a good day, and go Knicks.